So, man, briefly introduce yourself, your name, where you from, and how long you been in China?
Awesome, man. I'm Kevin. I'm from South Africa, Cape Town, and I've been in China for about 7.5 years now.
7.5 years in China, Shanghai.
No. I've lived in 3 different cities now.
I'm from Sweden originally.
And how long you been in China?
Well, we have been in China for a little bit more than 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
We really like it here. I'm working for a Swedish car company, or a Swedish. Nowadays it's a Chinese car company called Volvo Car Corporation.
Okay, my name is Garth. I'm from South Africa and I've been in China for 6 years now.
6 years in China?
6 years, yeah.
My name is Mars. I'm Persian. I've been here for 10 years.
Which cities have you lived so far?
When I came to China, I moved to Beijing.
Okay.
2017. And I lived there for a couple of years. And then 2020, mid-2020, just slightly like a few months after COVID hit, I moved to Hainan, to the south of China, and I lived there for a year, and then mid-2021 I moved to Shanghai and been here since.
But I can't speak any Chinese.
Why can't you speak Chinese?
It's very hard, man, very hard. The tones are
right?
very difficult for me.
But you live in Shanghai?
Shanghai, only Shanghai.
Yes.
10 years in China.
Yeah.
How does it feel to live in China for 10 years?
Well, I've been always in Shanghai. I don't know, Shanghai is a crazy city. Suddenly I woke up and I saw myself that, oh shit, 10 years.
10 years, right?
I've been here, you don't know how the time goes, right?
Why China? Why China? Of all the countries in the world, why did you decide to live in China?
Well, growing up, my dad always came to China for business since 95, 96. So he's been coming to China for every year since then. And eventually when I got the opportunity to decide to, I really want to go abroad now, I just felt more familiar and comfortable with China because he's always, brought gifts, brought photos, told amazing stories and had good experiences. So it was a reliable source that gave me information, and I felt most comfortable coming to China. So I decided I wanted to do a 6-month language, Chinese part-time study course, and I did that. And I liked it a lot, so I did another 6 months, and then I was like, well, what am I going to do? How can I continue to stay here? So I started a business.
Well, I think China, the time that I got in China, it was a very, fast-growing economy, and it's getting to be a developed country. And because I see the people, their level of, life quality is, getting better and better. And it's been a great job that what Chinese government has done during all these past years, past 30, 40 years. I think Chinese people, they deserve this prosperity that today they have. And China is full of business opportunities. Still, it's a great place to be because there are some people, I know a lot of friends of mine, they already left China because of many reasons. COVID happened, there are a lot of uncertainty in the world. So for this reason, they thought, okay, they might find better opportunity somewhere else. But in my opinion, China still is the best place to be. It's got a huge market. And beside of that, people are so friendly to, foreigners. They are so welcoming. They like foreigners. They help foreigners a lot. I myself, my memories of the Chinese people has been always good. And I'm happy to be here. And I still want to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, the conditions back home, economic conditions, not very good. So I decided to come to China. My friend was here before me. She found a job for me. And then I just came here and I thought it was a good opportunity. I think it's one of the best choices I've made in my life.
So what do you do in China? You teach?
I teach English. I
Okay, cool.
teach English for kindergarten kids.
For kindergarten kids.
There is a short answer and a long answer. The short answer is because Volvo Car Company is nowadays a Chinese company bought by Geely in 2010 or 2011. So then we have the possibility to go to China if we have something to contribute with. On the other hand, the personal reason is that China is a very interesting country.
Right.
It has, if you go to US, The old house is built in 1875 after Christ.
Right.
The Chinese wall was started to be built 200 years before Christ. So that's a hell of a difference.
Right.
So it has a history. And it's an interesting country.
It's more interesting. So how is it like living in China for 7.5 years?
Very interesting, man.
How interesting?
Well, if you get to Beijing and you don't speak a single word of Mandarin, then it can be daunting and challenging. But you make friends fairly quickly if you just join some of the international events and you start networking. Obviously, if you start dating, you go on online apps, you meet a lot of people. And I've generally always just been a good networker. So I adapt quickly and easily. Hence why, like, the first time I went abroad was coming to China, and I lived here, and I haven't been back to South Africa. Well, I've gone to visit, but I probably won't live there again.
How was it like moving to a complete new country, which was different from your country 10 years ago?
Yeah, it's called, I don't know what we should call it. It's a cultural shock. But you need to be open to different cultures, because we are all human beings, and our civilization needs to be better, and we need to have our generation, new generation, educated to have a better version of what we are, and to understand each other, which makes us to be in a better position that we are as a human being. We need to be open to our differences and trying to communicate better, understanding each other better, and help each other better. So I think in a whole picture, we need to be kind of open to every single difference that makes us to be in a better position in terms of better communication, better understanding, to help the whole human being and our civilization get into a better place.
When I first came, it was a shock to the system. I was alone, actually, when I first came, so I was just walking the streets, and I was surprised when the people couldn't speak English. I thought everyone could speak English around the world, and I realized I needed to use my translation apps quickly.
I mean, you talk about shocking. What is some of the shocking experience that you had here moving to China?
I mean, the obvious one was the lockdown. The lockdown there was, I think, a couple of years ago.
Right.
It was a lockdown. How we couldn't leave the apartment. That was quite shocking. So I'm happy to see the street is quite full now today.
That is a very long answer. I can give you a few examples.
Okay.
First of all, you came here. I was here actually in 2018 before COVID or something. You paid with cash. You were standing at the pavement and waving for a taxi. And then suddenly I came back in the end of 21. Everything was digitalized. If you don't have WeChat or Alipay, or if you lose your phone, you are
dead.
Down, you are dead.
Right.
The people are very friendly, and they do what you tell them to do. If you work in a company like I do, so you have to really watch out what you are asking for. In Sweden, they tell me, the old man is wrong. We do it like this because we have always done it. But here in China, they do what I tell them to do.
Right.
So you have to watch out a little bit. And they are very respectful. The competence and the capacity in the engineering community is tremendous today. And if you only go back 10 years, I would probably have said something completely different.
Right.
So they have a lot of competence, they have a lot of competition, and they are really brilliant. On the other hand, it's probably very difficult to become an engineer, as I am.
Right. I mean, living in a country like China obviously comes with its own challenges, right?
Yeah,
what are some of the
it
challenges of moving to a country like China?
I think first of all it was the language barrier, and then obviously I discovered there were apps that could help you. Whilst I was studying, obviously my Chinese improved slightly. As much as I was studying, I was capable of having some, basic conversations, which was amazing. But there were also apps that, translation apps that you could use that will just like simplify that barrier that you normally have with communication. That was quite challenging in the beginning. And I'd say eventually when I started a company, like that was also, a little bit of a challenge. But luckily I found someone that helped me set up everything, get everything ready. But obviously if it wasn't for any of those people, I would have had a real hard time doing and setting up things, getting things done.
You mean the difficulties?
The difficulties, yes.
Well, frankly speaking, like one of the one of the key thing that you need to like figure out, and you need to be serious about it, the language itself. Because if you learn the language, you learn the culture and you understand people very well. Of course, definitely is a language, and the problem with Chinese language is it's a completely a different alphabet, different words, different characters,
Different tones.
different tones. But the most important thing is if you come here to learn the language, forget about business. Just focus 1 year, 2 years on a language, learn it, get to a certain level. Then you can do whatever you want, any business, or you want to get into any company, etc., etc. I think the language is a key. That you need to learn it, and you need to get to know people better and better. Then definitely you will have a better understanding what you should do in terms of your business or any, career you want to have in China.
Yeah, first of all, it's a language barrier. That is the first thing. Otherwise, I can't think of too many things that is challenging for me. I'm quite a simple guy. I eat my food I want to eat. I have a gym I can go to. I have friends from around the world. So nothing much. This language thing is issues. Maybe some cultural things you have to, especially when you work with people as well. You need to understand and be respectful if you work with the locals here.
You think, in your own opinion, you think that the average Chinese person is very friendly and very open to foreigners?
Well, it probably depends on which part of China you go to.
Right.
Obviously, I think in any country you experience discrimination. But for the most part, I think a lot of the older people are like really, really nice. Like especially in Beijing, like I've found they really like to talk. They just want to talk, and they'll sit there and they'll play mahjong, or you go play ping pong with them, table tennis, and they just want to strike up conversations. Younger folks as well, if they've been abroad and they've had experiences where they've studied abroad or just traveled abroad. I've found a lot of people have been quite interested in communicating with foreigners. But I've also experienced moments in the south of China where I was not so welcome, regardless of skin color or it's just I'm not Chinese.
Right.
Yeah.
So moving to China, has it really met your expectation coming here in the first place?
Yeah,
You fulfilled coming to China?
I think it's a good idea to come here. My first idea was to come here for only 1 year, but now it's 6 years now. So, it's a good place. It's hard to leave. Very hard to leave this place. You can build a community here as well. I didn't expect to have a good community here of friends and people who also want to stay here as well for longer than 1 year.
I don't think I had any expectations. I'm very adventurous and I'm very open to just receive what comes my way. So the thing is, when I set myself up for expectations, I'm just setting myself up for disappointment because my expectations might not be what I'm going to get.
Right.
So I'd be upset and frustrated. But I just embraced moving here, and it's been the most amazing experience of my entire life.
Yeah, I love it. I met, except Chinese themselves, like I met a lot of interesting and outstanding people from different places in the world. Especially Shanghai is a hub of, China to be connected internationally to other countries, to other cultures. Shanghai always been a very cosmopolitan place. So yes, China and here Shanghai has been always a great place for me to meet a lot of interesting people and also getting familiar with a lot of things. In terms of businesses, in terms of cultures, in terms of any phenomenon that is going to happen in the world. And I think Shanghai is one of those 5 top cities in the world.
So is it quite easy to, blend into the Chinese society when you move here as a foreigner?
It depends. It depends. I think it's easier if you learn the language. I didn't learn the language, so I think it's harder for me to integrate with the local people here. So for me, it's easier to make friends with the foreigners, the expat community. So if you want to mingle with the locals, I think you have to learn the language. That's the best way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What is your message to people who want to come to China for the first time in 2024?
Just be open and be positive. And China, it's been their peaceful country, and it's going to be a peaceful country. And see China as a country that they have contributed and they have helped so much our civilization. The whole world actually kind of owe China because they've been contributing so much in the world economy. And see China as it is, then we have it in medias out there.
Right. Yeah. Amazing. Being the most amazing experience of your entire life. Look in the camera and send a message to the world.
Well, if you ever get the opportunity to come to China, I'd highly recommend it. It's a beautiful place. There's a lot of good food and friendly people. I don't know if you do surf and you do enjoy the ocean, there's the island of Hainan is a really good surf spot. So man, just embrace it, take it on, and give it a shot.
Just be open to meeting new people. I would say learn the language. Don't be like me. I didn't learn the language. And be open to meet people. Attend the events that are available here, and just be a nice guy. Be a nice guy to be around. I guess.
Leave all your prejudice at home. Download Alipay and WeChat, and you are good to go.
And give it a shot. Come to China, experience the life. Thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Right, you want to take some pictures, right? Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
That's crazy.
Can we take some pictures together?
Yeah, why not?
You on Instagram?